McFly, mornings on 95 FM WVIC.
Hello?
Yes, Leslie Nielsen.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Who's the new love interest in the sequel?
Anna Nicole Smith.
Nice beaver.
Well, you are the Hugh Hefner of the movies.
I haven't had this much sex since I was a Boy Scout leader.
Radio that'll give you a buzz.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Hello?
Yes, Leslie Nielsen.
Who's this?
Leslie, this is George McFly from 95 FM WVIC. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Leslie Nielsen, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous. You don't mind if I sit down, do you? Oh, you got it!
Oh!
You're not even in the studio right now.
Sure.
I
Just
can't
sat down.
believe it. Leslie, you're a busy man.
Pretty busy.
Well, we're all big fans here. Tell me a little bit about this latest movie that you're doing.
Naked Gun 33 and a third, the final insult. Now, what can I tell you? The way I describe Naked Gun pictures is it's dumb and stupid and wonderful.
Oh, surely you can't be serious.
Uh-oh.
I hate even talking about stereotyping, but Leslie, you're so successful at it. Are you going to go back to any kind of dramatic work at all after these?
I don't think they'll let me go back. but I've done, well over 1,000 TV shows, all of them one-shots and all of them drama. So I'm not, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I do the one-man play based on the life of Clarence Darrow. I do it on stage. So if I have a hankering, and which I probably will do, is I'll go back on stage and do Darrow. Other than that, I'm just quite happy doing comedy.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes I just look at you, and I just wait for the next remark. Ever since Airplane was on television again the other night.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, right. That's right. And about 4 or 5 days before, Naked Gun was on.
Now, that's something I got to talk to you about. I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan, and since you kissed Priscilla, it's sort of like vicariously kissing Elvis at the same time.
Well, I tell you, she's just such a wonderful, wonderful lady, and she's got such a marvelous sense of humor. I think of little Louise in the corridors of the Plaza Hotel in New York, running around up and down the aisles, the corridors, and sticking gum into the keyhole. That's what I figured that Priscilla, she's just got that touch of mischief in her.
She's a real prankster, huh?
She's wonderful.
Well, it's not the Priscilla that I know, but boy, when she was climbing, I don't even want to get into that right now.
Anyway.
Nice beaver. Yeah. So the Naked Gun series spun off, obviously, from Police Squad. Now, did you know that the first one was going to go that far and be that popular?
Well, we always knew that the Police Squad was funny. It was just in the wrong medium. It was the kind of humor you had to pay attention to, and people don't pay attention to television, really, as far as humor is concerned. So a lot of people are looking this way or looking at the ceiling or telling the kids to behave or put the phone down or get the dishes done or whatever. And you can't do that with this kind of humor. You have to catch it at the very start because it's flimsy enough. But if you miss the intro, then you don't know where the hell you are.
I tell you what, there's such a void for that nowadays, especially with all the violence and you sort of make a parody out of it. I think it's the light humor. I think it's good for you, isn't it?
We even had, I agree with you. We even had in the beginning when we did Police Squad, we had one lady I remember who was a TV critic saying, "I don't think the show will be successful. It makes fun of the policemen, and so it won't be successful." You can imagine how much of the show she saw and what her sense of humor really must be like.
Well, I heard Roger Ebert liked the first one so much he sat on his thumb.
Oh!
When I met Siskel in Chicago,
Yeah.
he came into the hotel and to where I was, and he just walked in, and he stuck his hand out and smiled, and he said, "Thank you." And they also said that there's no point, we can't review the picture.
Well, I worked for CBS back in Chicago, and every time I saw Gene Siskel, he was drunk. So maybe at the same time,
Are you kidding?
he used to say,
Gene, he doesn't drink, does he?
oh yeah,
Oh, no.
he used to say the same thing to me about my show in Chicago. Georgia, hey, like your show, thumbs up.
Oh,
Sure,
yeah?
yeah.
Thumbs up.
Does a lot of ad-libbing go on in the movies? Because it seems like you go off on your own tangents, but who am I to know? I don't do movies.
I mean, anything that you have to say, you're entitled, and you can go ahead and do it, and you can have fun doing it if you want. But then when you're finished, somebody say, "Okay, just a minute, let's take a look at it now," because the criterion is always going to be what's funnier, what we got or what somebody just did. and they may rehearse it a few times. And if they're in doubt, they may shoot it both ways.
Well, you have the strongest character. Without you, there's no movie. Do you have a lot of say-so in what goes on?
Well, I have a substantial say-so, yeah. You know, and there are times when I say, I just really think we can't step over the line here with the character. But I also know another thing is that you always really have to be willing to try everything, and just keep your fingers crossed. And of course, with the guys like David Zucker and Bob Weiss and Pete Siegel, who is our new young director in this one, and he really did a monumental job, I think. You start to feel in very good hands, and Jim Abrams or Pat Proff or Jerry Zucker when he's around too. So you know that very few errors in judgment are going to be made, because you really can't tamper with these characters. They have to remain true. Isn't that funny? In insanity, you have to have a logic in your character.
That's true. I guess that's what comedy is about, huh?
A lot deeper than we thought.
Now, is this really and truly the final insult, or is there another Naked Gun on the way?
I anticipate there'll be Naked Gun 4, the second final insult.
Yeah, really.
Good. I mean, why stop it? You know, what's the point? Why cut out the laughs? Why? Where do you ever wrap up the text and say, well, that's it, we've done it now? You know, that's what happened after Police Squad. I remember talking to Jerry Zucker. I said, well, let's do a movie. And he said, no, it's done. We've done it here. We did it on TV. It's over. And it's dead. It's buried. So,
Well,
oh, boy. It just didn't seem to me that there'd be any reason why not do a movie. And then 4 or 5 years later, lo and behold, we got the first Naked Gun.
well, why stop when it's feeding the family, right?
That's it. That's for sure.
Who's the new love interest in the sequel?
Well, there's no new love interest. Priscilla and I get married. Jane and I get married. But then in the course of pursuing my undercover police work and getting caught up with the gang, Fred Ward and Kathy Freeman and Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
That is the full-figured woman.
Yeah, so we know who
What
she
a
is.
sweetheart she is, too. You know, aside from being extraordinarily beautiful, she has a wonderful sense of humor. She's just down home. But anyway, she decides that she's quite interested in me, not knowing that I'm the undercover Frank Drebin. And then when she later on finds out, it doesn't make a bit of difference to her.
Well, you are the Hugh Hefner of the movies. You always latch on to the most
stud.
beautiful. As a matter of fact, I couldn't act in front of these women. I'd be way too nervous. Priscilla Presley and Anna Nicole Smith, and I guess you got to earn a living somehow. But you're one lucky man.
I certainly am, but I'm too dumb to know it.
Leslie, I appreciate you taking the time with us. We can't wait for this movie to come out. Naked Gun, 33
And a third.
and a third.
The final
insult.
and it's coming out, opening on March the 18th.
We'll be there.
We will be there.
All right.
Leslie Nielsen, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us this morning.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.